Welcome to EduRev.
Hi guys, welcome to EduRev. My name is Harshmeet Singh. I welcome you all to part 4 of the Parliament lecture series. I hope you have attended the earlier 3 parts. In part number 4, today we will be talking about the membership of the Parliament, what are the qualifications required to become a member of the Parliament, and we will also talk about the disqualification. How is it and under what circumstances can a Parliament's member be disqualified from his or her position? As I said, my name is Harshmeet Singh and I have been teaching UPSC Civil Services aspirants over the past 5 years now. During this time, over 100 of my students have successfully achieved great ranks in the toughest examination in the entire country. Without waiting any further, let's begin today's class. Now, the Constitution of India gives certain qualifications required to be a member of Parliament. And then it leaves it upon the Parliament to add on more qualifications that the Parliament wants. The Constitution of India says that the person should be a citizen of India. For Lok Sabha election, the person should be minimum 25 years of age, while 30 is the minimum age for the Rajya Sabha elections. Now, all that seems pretty straightforward, but when the UPSC asks the questions, they can ask questions in a slightly different manner. For example, UPSC पूछ सकता है कि do you have to gain citizenship by birth only? What if someone becomes a citizen of India through naturalization? क्या वो MP बन सकता है? What if a person becomes a citizen of India through descent or through registration? क्या इन सब चीज़ों से if someone becomes a citizen of India, can they still become member of Parliament? And this kind of statement confuses the aspirants, and that is why you need to understand. Don't make yourself a victim of UPSC's strategy to confuse you. It's very straightforward, simple. You should be a citizen of India, full stop. Now, how do you become a citizen of India? Using what method does not matter. As long as you are a citizen of India, by any method, yes, you are eligible to contest the elections for the Parliament of India. As I said, the Constitution then says that the Parliament can add on additional qualifications, and thus the Parliament has passed an act called the RPA, Representation of People Act 1951. Now, as you know, Representation of People Act, by this name we have two different acts. One is 1950 and one is 1951. The RPA 1951 itself is a part of your governance syllabus, so you have to read that. The Parliament in this act has also added the fact that the person must be a registered voter. So you should be a voter, your name should be in the voter list somewhere in the country. Throughout the country, your name should be somewhere so that you can actually vote. So the person should be a voter, number one. Sorry. Now, interestingly, you can be a voter anywhere in the country. You can be a voter anywhere throughout the country, and you can contest elections for Lok Sabha or for the Rajya Sabha. You don't have to be a voter of the place where you are contesting election. For example, we have Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi is not from UP, but Narendra Modi is contesting elections from Varanasi. Similarly, you have Rahul Gandhi, who is not from Kerala, but he is contesting elections from Wayanad. And that is true for both the houses. Earlier, it was true for Lok Sabha only, but since 2003, the rule has been changed. अब आप राज्य सभा का इलेक्शन भी कहीं से भी लड़ सकते हैं. You just have to be a voter somewhere in the country. Secondly, as you know, Lok Sabha में the seats are reserved for SC and ST category based on their population. So if you are contesting from a seat जो कि SC ST का reserved है, for that you have to belong to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe anywhere in the country. Not from that state or that area, but anywhere in the country. Now, coming to the disqualification part, disqualification के लिए भी same चीज़ है. The Constitution of India also tells under what reason would a person be disqualified, and then Parliament has also added some things from their own. Constitution says if a member of Parliament holds an office of profit. Office of profit means if they hold some other position, some other executive position. I'll give you an example, like Jaya Bachchan was disqualified from being a member of Rajya Sabha when she took up another government job from the UP government. That was the UP Film Association Development. She became the chairman and she was disqualified. if a person is of unsound mind as declared by the court, if the person is undischarged insolvent, इसका मतलब होता है financially bankrupt, means you have taken a lot of money and you can't return it back, you are financially bankrupt. You lose citizenship of India. These are the things that the constitution says would disqualify you. Apart from that, the parliament also has made certain other laws for disqualification of members of parliament. These disqualification laws again are given in the Representation of People Act 1951. For example, if the person is held guilty of corruption in elections. Second, if the person is imprisoned for 2 years or more. Now, this is very interesting. Earlier, the law was even if you are imprisoned for 2 years or more, you can still appeal. And unless a final appeal is finalized, only then you will be disqualified. But now that is not the case. Now, if a court gives you an order of 2 years or more imprisonment, you are disqualified immediately. Even if a lower court gives that order, you will be disqualified immediately. This was clarified by the Supreme Court in the famous Lily Thomas case of 2013. And you are not just disqualified for the number of years in jail, you are disqualified for the number of years in jail plus 6 more years. You cannot fight elections like Lalu Prasad Yadav. So if the court sends you to jail for 4 years, you cannot fight election for 10 years total. Next, if you don't file election expenses, then you will be disqualified. If you hold an office of profit in any government corporation where government has at least 25% stake, or you are punished for social crimes such as sati and untouchability. For all these disqualifications, the one that we read on the previous slide and here, for all these disqualifications for members of parliament, the disqualification decision is taken by the President of India. He will be getting his advice from the Election Commission of India and he will take the final order. This is extremely important to remember. Why? Because there is one other way in which a member of parliament is disqualified. That is the anti-defection law. Defection simply means changing your party. Now, the problem with this is in the past there have been many members of parliament who have changed their parties. For example, we have the BJP as a ruling party right now. What if 100 members of BJP all of a sudden say we are joining the Congress? The government will fall down and they can keep on changing their party for whatever reason. That brings instability to the entire political system. To stop this instability, to fight against it, we have an anti-defection law passed in 1985. That if a member of parliament changes his or her party, goes against the party, they will be disqualified. These are the 4 points under which the anti-defection law works. Number 1, if any member of parliament voluntarily gives up membership of his or her party, they will be disqualified. Second, if you vote against the direction of your party, or if you don't vote, even if your party told you to vote, you will be disqualified. Then if independent members who don't have any political party, if independent members join any political party, you will be disqualified. Then nominated members, the 12 nominated members that we have in Rajya Sabha, if nominated members join any political party, after 6 months you will be disqualified. So for the first 6 months you can, but after 6 months if you join any political party, you shall be disqualified. These are the 4 points of defection. Now, as I said, anti-defection law was not in the original constitution. It was only introduced in 1985 and was placed in the 10th schedule. The important thing here is for anti-defection law, the decision about disqualification is not taken by the President of India. It is taken by the presiding officer of the House. That is, in case of Lok Sabha, it is the Speaker. In case of Rajya Sabha, it is a chairperson. Remember this, it's extremely important. For anti-defection law, the decision for disqualification is taken by the presiding officer of the House and not by the President. There are some few exceptions to anti-defection law. For example, if, let's say, a political party has 90 members in the Lok Sabha. Out of the total members of parliament of a political party, if 2/3 at least 2/3 members together say that we are leaving the party and joining some other party, then they will not be disqualified. So this first point has this exception, that if at least 2/3 members of a party together leave the party, they will not be disqualified. The other small exception is if someone resigns from the party to join or to become the Speaker of the House, then they will not be disqualified. But the most important thing, number one, anti-defection law is in the 10th schedule. Number two, the decision for disqualification is to be taken by the presiding officer of the House. Remember this part. Let's test your knowledge about what we have just read. Which of the following may not lead to disqualification under 10th schedule of the Constitution? 10th schedule means the anti-defection law. Number one, if you are suspended from your party. Number two, if an independent member joins any political party. Number three, if a nominated member joins a party after 6 months. Number four, none of the above. If you think hard about it, you will get to know it is the first point. See, if your party throws you out, then you are not disqualified from a membership of parliament. If you resign from your party, then you will be disqualified from parliament. So you can't resign, your party can throw you out. If you resign, then you will be disqualified from membership of parliament. If your party says now you are not a part of BJP, then you will still remain in the parliament. Okay. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you soon in the next class.